PDP primaries screening there. All right, we have a lawyer in the house, Tochukwu Ohazurike, who will be taking up this issue with us. Tochukwu, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ngoli. Good morning.
Good morning, Tochukwu. Let's find out from you what you make of this particular case.
All right, thank you very much. I've shown more than keen interest in what happened in Rivers State because it's a novel way of achieving an aim of stopping a politician, and when things like this happen, and they are not stopped immediately, they could happen again, and maybe now they happen at a bigger scale or closer scale or larger scale. So what happened was Governor Wike declared Honorable Farah Dagogo wanted on the allegation that he mobilized cultists that came to disrupt political party activities at the secretariat of the PDP. The question is, what political party activity was that? Said screening of House of Assembly members. Now, Farah Dagogo, being a member of the House of Reps, was not personally interested or participating in that process. And investigations and all the reports show that Farah Dagogo was not personally at that venue on the said date of the alleged disruption of the processes at the party secretariat. Now, Governor Wike subsequently, on the same day, declared him wanted. The question would have been, who conducted the investigation? It should have been the police that would conduct the investigation, because it's reported that about 15 people who were part of that process to disrupt were arrested. And on investigation or interrogation, they named Farah Dagogo as their sponsor. Now, it should have been the police that carry out that function of interrogating them to get this fact of Farah Dagogo being linked to it. And noting that the police commissioner in Rivers State does not report to the governor for further action or for further directives, should have taken action himself. So the question now is, how did police conduct investigation which was not reported to the governor, and the governor now declares Farah Dagogo wanted? So if you follow through, you now see that Farah Dagogo filed a suit, or immediately he heard what the governor did by declaring him wanted at the Federal High Court Abuja, and then the governor subsequently arrested him. I don't think that suit had been heard as at the time that arrest was done. But now the question is, who arrested him? It has been shown that he was not arrested by the Commissioner of Police. He was not arrested by the Inspector General of Police. He was arrested by policemen attached to the government house in Rivers State. Now it brings another question. If it was the Commissioner of Police that conducted the investigation, and Farah Dagogo was linked to the sponsorship of cultists to disrupt party activities, it should have been the Commissioner of Police in furtherance of investigations that would have arrested Farah Dagogo. So when you look at all these things and the way it's going, you come further again. He was charged to a magistrate court with charges beyond the jurisdiction of the magistrate court. The magistrate declined jurisdiction and went ahead to say, I remand in police custody, and gave a date. And now the question is, what do you want to do on the new date? Is it that the thing will now, police should have and do something to bring it within the jurisdiction of the court, or what did you actually expect to happen? Now, when you refuse to grant a sitting federal lawmaker bail on a minor offense such as he has been charged with before the Rivers State Chief Magistrate Court, you ask yourself, what's the essence of bail? Bail is, it doesn't stop trial. This is a federal lawmaker. If for such a minor offense, he will not, the interpretation should be that this man will not abandon his mandate as a federal lawmaker to take flight because he has a criminal trial before a court. So that alone, on personal recognizance, he should have been granted bail, but he was not granted bail. Now you move to the 15 young men who were also arrested. I heard what their lawyers have said, that those boys were not in any way disrupting and did not in any way disrupt. Nigerians should also go online and check for all the reports of media houses. There were a lot of journalists who must have ordinarily found themselves at the venue of PDP screening for House of Assembly members. There are no reports of that disruption in the media that would have warranted this. And the lawyers have said, no, those are innocent boys who, normal politicians, normal people who are supporting a political person who is interested in governorship election, who went to a venue not to disrupt and did not indeed disrupt. And for such a minor offense as what do they call it? Unlawful gathering to disrupt public peace. The magistrate gives a 1 month adjournment to hear bail application. It is unfortunate that these things have happened. If you look at the entire gamut of what I've said and the history I've laid down, it shows political interference in the justice system. It shows political interference in the security system, because the Commissioner of Police needs to come clean. And I call Commissioner of Police of Rivers State, I call him out to address Nigerians this morning and say how complicit the police is. What roles did the police play? Did the police conduct the investigation of the 15 people who have been charged, young men who have been charged to court? Did they report the outcome of the investigation to the governor before the governor declared wanted? And if it was indeed the commissioner, and if he takes responsibility that he conducted the investigation, did he need to wait for the governor to declare Farah Dagogo wanted? He should have gone ahead to do that. So why did he not do that if investigations showed that Farah Dagogo was connected to a crime he was investigating? Subsequently, and Nigerians need to hear the Attorney General of Rivers State come clean on the role the Rivers State government is playing. Again, the PDP as an opposition party that is seeking to take power is giving insights as to how laws will be maneuvered and manipulated against citizens who have interests that are opposed to the interests of the persons in power.
Is it the PDP or the governor of Rivers State?
Hold on. Yes, I'm coming there. You know, once you become president, we'll hear why you are the national leader of the party. Now, this is a governor who is interested in becoming the president of Nigeria on the platform of the PDP. If God blesses his efforts and he becomes the national leader of PDP, so his actions will be interpreted as the actions of PDP. Now, so that's why I say the PDP now, the national chairman of PDP now, should come out and distance the PDP and the policies and ideologies of PDP from this, so that people will now know that, okay, it is not PDP, it is Governor Yusuf.
All right, Tochukwu, the governor is the chief security officer of Rivers State,
but does not conduct investigation.
Is it possible he has an information that others don't have?
No, he could not have had.
At the time he declared.
No, he could not have had.
How certain are you? Because in your opening remarks, you said that it was the governor's security details. You also said the commissioner should come out clean if he has. How are you sure it's not the commissioner that has giving the information to the governor, or that he has a hand in all of this?
Very much. The governor, the police commissioner in Rivers State, and indeed every commissioner of police in the state do not report to the governors. All right. So when the police conducts investigation, they don't forward their report to the governor for further directive,
but to the IGP.
Yes.
But you're not calling the IGP out in this case.
No. You know this idea of always suing as a lawyer, when a policeman infringes on a client's fundamental rights, I sue the IGP. The IGP does not know. I've advocated for a change in that law. Let me sue that man that has violated the right, not the IGP. The IGP may have given him the direct instructions on how to obey the law, and the man goes against it. I go and sue the IGP. It doesn't make sense. So I am calling out the Commissioner of Police, an office that can be sued, to say, Commissioner of Police, you investigated the 15 young men, because the information is that those young men who were arrested were the ones that called Farah Dagogo. Commissioner of Police, if you are the one that conducted this investigation, why did you not further invite Farah Dagogo or declare him wanted? You did not do that. It means political interference in your investigation, you now reported to the governor or forwarded your report to the governor for further directives, which was the only basis for the governor to have now been the one to declare the man wanted. It wasn't the job of the governor to declare somebody under investigation wanted. The governor does not investigate.
I heard you calling this a minor offense, and one would say, even though it's still an allegation, yes, sponsoring cultists to, disrupt an activity, a political activity of a party you belong to.
Yes.
If that actually happened,
good,
is that a minor offense?
No. If it is a heinous crime, the police will not take it to the magistrate. Will not take Farah Dagogo to magistrate court. What is the job of the magistrate court? Minor offences. They would have taken him to the high court to show that they believe in the gravity of the offence he has committed. But they took him to a magistrate court. The police on their own, after their investigation, took him to a magistrate court. If it was a heinous offence, they won't take him to a magistrate court. They know they won't take him because they know that if it was a heinous offence, the magistrate court will have the jurisdiction to try that offence. But the fact that you took him to a magistrate court
means in your heart of heart, in your own conviction, it's a minor offense. That's why you took him to. So it doesn't need further evidence or investigation to inquire into whether it was the limitations of the magistrate courts are so high. So the magistrate court does not try heinous crimes. He should have been taken to a high court if they believed that it was a heinous crime he committed.
Could there be a political problem between the governor and the honorable? Because I saw a report where the honorable was quoted to have said that Atiku will win Rivers. Will win the PDP. Not Rivers.
That's the problem. You admit now you saw that report. That's the problem. She's asking she's not admitting. She said she saw a report and is asking, is that the question? Yes. That report is a pointer to what is happening to Farah Dagogo now. The governor of Rivers State is interested in the presidency. Farah Dagogo, an honorable member who may have climbed the ladder of being an honorable member of the shoulder of this governor in 2019, now says, Governor, I will support you, I will support Atiku Abubakar. And the governor is hyped about that. So, but the issues are simple. No matter the political differences, you don't have to take the laws into your hand like the governor is taking in Rivers State. It's unfortunate that he's doing this, and I think the problem here, or the challenge for the Rivers State governor, is that he has found it difficult to, distinguish the thin line or the clear lines between courage or being courageous and being arbitrary. I will admit, I believe that the governor of Rivers State is a very courageous person. He says things that people may not want to say. But he has missed that line where courage stops, and he has extended it to where arbitrariness starts. And that is the challenge he is having here. If that Farah Dagogo does not want to support you, his one vote will not stop anything. And the target of going to pick him at the venue of the screening only points out to one thing, that I do not want this man to be screened by the PDP so that he will not have opportunity to contest this election. Now, you have also sent message to people who are watching from afar. If this man is afraid of allowing Farah Dagogo to go for this screening, does it mean Farah Dagogo is that popular that he had a chance of winning?
What if the governor doesn't really have a hand in all of this?
He is the one that declared him wanted. How can he not have a hand? He personally declared him wanted. How can he not have a hand? Is it my hand that is there?
What if he's not the one behind it? Maybe it is due to other reasons. That's what I'm asking.
There's other reason. There are facts. Let's look at the facts that exist. People were arrested, and it's alleged that they mentioned Farah Dagogo's name. And on the basis of that, he declared him wanted on the 27th of April. On the 28th, he was arrested, not by a team from the Commissioner of Police, but by the team of police officers in government house. This was the same thing done by Governor Hope Uzodinma in Imo State, which also you remember. And when the matter got to IG, you saw that he was allowed to go, because it wasn't the police that did that. See, a police officer is not the Nigerian police. He is a police officer. So those people that went there were not directed by the Commissioner of Police or the Inspector General of Police.
How does it work, Tochukwu? How can a police officer attached to the governor go out there to arrest someone at that level without any, information or instruction from the Commissioner of Police? It begs my imagination. How exactly does that happen?
Political interference in our security structure is a big problem to the insecurity situation of Nigeria today. Now, when it happened in Imo State, it was eventually proven, despite all the initial denials by the state government, that it was proven that there were policemen attached to the governor. Now, but when they come to arrest you, these facts will not be known to the person who is to be arrested. You have seen people who are in police uniform, who have arms, obviously they have come, because obviously they have vehicles identified or linked to the police, even while they are there in the government house. You follow them. You become a law-abiding citizen and follow them. Now, Nigerians will also know, just like in Imo State, when the man was taken to government house before he was flown to Abuja, they also kept Farah Dagogo in the government house. He was not taken to the commissioner, because if it was the commissioner that ordered, go and bring him. Once you lay hands on him, you bring him to the commissioner, or indeed the policeman that directed that he should be brought, maybe the investigating officer. But in this context, Farah Dagogo was arrested and taken to the government house where he spent the night.
All right, so let's look at this press release we saw from the camp of the Honorable, signed by the SA to Media and Publicity Ibrahim Lawal. After reading out the fact that Honorable Dagogo is not a cultist, was not at the venue, like you said earlier, of that screening at the time, couldn't have sponsored cultists to disrupt a political party where he belongs while the screening is going on. He went on to say that the Inspector General of Police should direct the Commissioner of Police Rivers State not to heed the directive of the governor in this case. But we didn't see that happen. Eventually, the Honorable was remanded.
Yes. Now, I also wanted to say, one thing about security and justice, they are connected. Because when the police does investigation, or if you say the police did not do the investigation, I wanted to see who was to prosecute Farah Dagogo. But I've also seen that it was the police now that has taken custody, because the following day on the 29th, he was transferred to the police. And now, the police is now prosecuting him in the magistrate court. And the question is this: on what basis are you prosecuting him? You did not conduct investigation. At the time the police is now saying they are prosecuting, the police has not conducted investigation because the man was not arrested by the Nigerian police. It is clear. A policeman is not the Nigerian police in that context, but he represents the Nigerian police. So when he takes an action arbitrarily, you do not blame it on the Nigerian police. It is that man that is responsible, because he has to have clear directives.
So you're saying the IGP cannot do anything in this case?
No.
Or cannot, call the
until the Commissioner of Police admits that he's the one that conducted the investigation of the 15 people who now linked Farah Dagogo. Then, but the question is, the entire thing is suffering grave manipulations that are not supposed to happen in a 21st century country. Now, when a federal lawmaker is brought before a court, granting the person bail for offenses that are ordinarily bailable is a right. It's not a privilege. It's a right. It's a right. It's your right. So that magistrate. And when you say bring a reasonable shorty, bring a serious,
and it's not like the Honorable cannot meet the bail condition.
No! So as a federal lawmaker, for a minor offense such as what he has been charged with, you grant him bail on self-recognition. Will he abandon his mandate and run away because you say he wanted to disrupt
aspiration?
Do you understand? So let's leave his aspiration. That one is still speculation. But the one on ground is that he is a sitting federal lawmaker. If you are charging him with murder, you can say, okay, as a federal lawmaker, he can have access to run away, so that a federal lawmaker won't go to prison for life. But when you charge him with minor, I tried to find out the punishment from the Rivers State laws for these offenses. I was unable to see them. But charging him to a magistrate court convinces me that it was a minor offense.
So his aspiration cannot be linked to some of the issues he's also having.
That's what I'm saying. Because he has now declared he has declined to support the governor. That's why the governor has to deal with him like this. And politicals, they should not be allowed. People should not be allowed to use official positions to deal with people because of varying that
he's eyeing the office of governor.
Yes.
What are his options? What are the options for him as it stands?
Now, PDP, I had called out earlier. I said they should come and make statements on this matter, because the man was at the venue of screening. He was there to attend screening for himself. He was picked up from that venue, meaning he has not attended screening. So if PDP comes out tomorrow and now says, okay, because you did not attend screening, you will not participate in the election. If I'm Farah Dagogo, I will chase you and PDP. I'll chase PDP until the end. It is unlawful. So whatever it is, PDP can make a statement in this and say, okay, he has not been found guilty, so he's not yet a cultist. It is a court that will declare him a cultist, not a governor, not the Commissioner of Police. It is the court. The court has not done that. So he has to continue to enjoy his rights until that point. Now, with the Admission of Criminal Justice Act, trial in criminal matters are supposed to go fast. Even if he means day by day, let it go. So it means that between now and the time he can whatever, he should be allowed to participate in the process. So PDP can say, okay, whenever you people release him, he will come and participate in our screening and also go to participate in the primaries if he still desires to continue. If the man is a cultist and he has been ratted out by this process, the man can even upon coming out pack his bag and say, in fact, they have caught me, I won't participate again, this thing has brought down my reputation, and he packs and goes. But let it be his choice. Somebody should not be allowed to use the levers of official position to deal with political opponents. It should not be allowed at all, because this is the attitude. This attitude of arbitrariness was the attitude Governor El-Rufai started in Kaduna, and today Kaduna has collapsed.
Is Honorable Dagogo really a political opponent to the River State governor?
Yes.
The River State governor is just about concluding his tenure as a governor and is eyeing the president.
The man is a political opponent because he has declared open support for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. It's not speculation. The man has said Atiku will win you. Atiku will win you. You will not win.
And that's a mere statement.
No, he's a statutory delegate in the convention. He will vote. It's
just one vote out of all the delegates, isn't it?
When people say you only have one vote, it's not true. I'm a man now. If I have one vote, don't I have a wife? I can tell my wife, see, babe, listen, don't worry. No matter what we do, I've got 2 votes. Don't I have friends who believe in me because of me? Can't I convince them? So nobody has one vote. Nobody has one vote, except you want to have one vote. It is my choice to have one vote. If it is my choice to have more than one vote, I will go out and convince people who believe in me because of me. And I will say, vote Nkoli, don't vote this one here. Vote Nkoli is better than this one near me here. So for you, and they will vote you because I said, not because they know you, or because of any other reason. So for you, this is an unlawful exclusion. That's what you call it. It could look like that, yes. It can be an expansion of the definition of unlawful exclusion unlawful exclusion, no, because it is INEC that should do unlawful exclusion. This is internal party issue. That's why I say PDP must make a statement so that tomorrow nobody will do it again. Because if it is allowed to go, somebody can come tomorrow during PDP presidential primaries and pick one of the persons who does not enjoy immunity. Now, Atiku Abubakar could be picked. He does not have immunity. He could be picked on that day, and then he will not attend primary. So what if this is testing the microphone of whether Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Bukola Saraki, and all the others who are interested in the PDP presidential primaries can be removed? So if PDP does not clean out its house this morning, what? It may happen. Now,
Tochukwu, some people believe that Governor Wike is someone who speaks truth to power,
yes,
who talks bold,
yes,
without minding whose ox is God. And that's why I asked earlier, is it possible that he has an information that others don't have that made him call out Honorable Dagogo?
And I've said to you, that information could only come from the police.
They are both politicians.
No,
you don't know what happens.
This is crime. So there is a crime. There is a crime that has been alleged to have been committed, and there is the information that the people who were arrested were the ones that called Farah Dagogo. The question is, CP, if you are the one that conducted this investigation, it should have been you then that should have declared Farah Dagogo wanted, not referring it to the governor to do it as though he didn't have the power.
Or maybe any other security agency, maybe the DSS.
So the thing is this: Wike is bold, Wike is courageous, but he has to know that there is a clear line of distinction between being courageous and being arbitrary. On this one, he failed it. On this one, he is arbitrary. On this one, he should retrace his steps, because no one knows tomorrow. This is Nigeria. Power is transient. He will leave office one day. Even if he becomes president 8 years after, he will leave office. If he doesn't become president May 29 next year, 392 days from today, he will leave office. And then he will also lose the privilege of Section 308. And then somebody can also arbitrarily pick him up. And why we shout about things like this is because, when you cannot condone opposition. I come here and other television and electronic media platforms and quote run my mouth and say freely what I believe and what I think is right. It means that if I have a president who wants to intimidate me, I can finish speaking here one day, and as I'm going out, one vehicle will park and people will say you're under arrest and pick me just for the truth or the facts I have stated. That's why we have to shout about things like this, for anybody to compress the political space or the rights of persons to hold their opinions. It must be respected. Farah Dagogo has a right to support Governor Wike. He has the right to support Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He
he must not be intimidated because of the final conclusion of his views. His views publicly stated is that he supports Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. That must be respected by Governor Wike.
Do you have any idea if he's going to press any charge or if he has gone ahead to?
The man is still incommunicado. It's until he comes out. He's still on remand until Monday next week. So the question is, what is it that the magistrate is doing? Public holiday ends tomorrow. There's Wednesday, there's Thursday, there's Friday. And you have journeyed to Monday. And you also see that the other boys, the 15 young men that were also arrested, their own bail will be held on the 26th of May. And I ask, for minor offense in the magistrate, what's the magistrate doing? He's a civil servant. He's not a judicial officer like a high court judge. Magistrates are civil servants. So what will he be doing in office in that his courtroom between that 27 they were 27 they were charged to court and 26th of for 1 month to hear bail application for a minor offense? Now, if it were in a serious country, that magistrate would pack his bag and leave office. But he's under the control and command and control of the university.
Tochukwu, we'll leave it at that, and we'll see how it's still the story is still developing. Like you said, he's incommunicado, and we hope very soon that he would be released. And then
he's not incommunicado on his own volition. He's held incommunicado under the instructions of Governor Wike.
But you want him released?
He should be released. On personal recognizance, doesn't need any shorty to come and take him.
Tochukwu, as a UK lawyer, joined us this morning, and we looked at the issue in Rivers State with regards to the arrest of Honorable Farah Dagogo, who is alleged to have sponsored cultists to disrupt screening of House of Assembly aspirants last week, Wednesday. For Tochukwu, he believes that Honorable
Dagogo... There's one point. Sorry, I must make this point. Afenwa issued a statement yesterday making allegations against Alhaji Atiku Abubakar that he should be extradited to the United States of America. What if this is now the person of the microphone that on the day of screening Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will be picked on the allegation that he will be extradited to the United States by policemen attached to the government? What will he now do? PDP has to speak today.
All right, PDP has to speak today. That's the point. We will leave this discussion on this issue of Honorable Farah Dagogo and the Rivers State Governor. We must thank you, Tochukwu Ahazurike, a lawyer who has joined us, for your incisive position always on issues like this. All right, and that's the wrap of Kakaki, the African Voice. This public holiday. We do hope you're enjoying your day. We wish you a wonderful holiday out there. I'm Nkoli Omodu.
I'm a Izoji, Momo. There's still more public holiday.
One more, yeah.
I think the African Voice returns on Tuesday. I'll be here to bring you all the details of what's happening around the country and the world. Have a nice day.